everyone, Lee Pacchia here, and you're watching The Business of Law. We're channeling the legal tech space today, and I'm happy to say in studio we have Matt Faustman. He is founder and CEO of UpCounsel. Thanks for joining us today. Welcome.
Thanks for having me, Lee.
Of course. So what is UpCounsel?
So
wait, that's terrible. Let me try that again. Tell me about your business. I didn't mean to get that in there.
No, it's okay. So what we've created at UpCounsel is equivalent to the world's largest virtual law firm. Mm-hmm. But as I'm sure you know, and many of your viewers know, we aren't a law firm. We are a venture-backed technology company. We've started with technology and we end with technology, where we've created an intelligent technology platform that makes it easy to discover and work with a community of attorneys. We've then powered this with a group of top-tier independent attorneys. And these folks have come from some of the best law firms in the world, some of the best in-house teams from some of the best companies in the world. And now, for one reason or another, they're on their own. And they've decided to make UpCounsel a part of their practice, part of their home as far as practicing law in the world.
How many attorneys are we talking about?
So we've had almost 10,000 lawyers register for UpCounsel, and we've only let in about 300 at this point to work with our customers. Our customers are businesses between 5 and now 5,000 employees. So we work with some pretty large companies working directly with their general counsels and legal departments, but we also work with entrepreneurs as well, folks that are just getting a venture started and just need a little bit of legal work here and there that isn't astronomically expensive.
Yeah, sounds like Uber for lawyers. How exactly does it work?
So we have been described as the Uber for lawyers, and we definitely stress the fact that quality is very, very important to us. And so sometimes we step away from the Uber analogy, even though it's quite popular these days. So what we do is kind of provide the back-end infrastructure for our lawyers. Our dream is that they'll never have to do a day of admin as long as they're on UpCounsel. And then what we do is kind of wrap this up and offer it as an alternative or a complement to businesses and legal departments to the traditional law firm. And the idea is that you could come to UpCounsel, put a project together. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to put a sufficient project together, and just tell us what you need. It can be something as simple as I need a licensing agreement put together for my new app, or it could be something as complex as we're going to acquire another company, and I need someone who can lead the M&A. Our system, with this very small description or this short explanation of what you need, can algorithmically go into our community of lawyers and intelligently select the attorneys that best match not only the job, but your company as well. If you're in biotech, you're going to get attorneys that have experience in biotech. And then within an hour of you submitting that, those attorneys are going to introduce themselves to you with their hourly rate, their experience, and very detailed online profiles of their work experience, and even reviews from previous customers that have been using UpCounsel. Every time a lawyer uses UpCounsel, they get reviewed by a customer. Public reviews, private reviews, and that just helps us to increase the quality over time. So every day that UpCounsel is in existence, the quality of our community just gets better and better.
Totally understandable. Continuing with the Uber analogy here, big news from them in the last couple of weeks is that they're installing a panic button into their system. So when things go wrong and someone's sitting in the backseat of an axe murderer driving around San Francisco or Chicago, they can go get help right away. I can see how conceivably that might happen in the UpCounsel universe if you have an attorney who has parachuted into a situation and for whatever reason you have that 1 or 2 person team that is just not as competent as they should be.
Sure.
What happens then?
Yeah, that's a really great point. And I think one of the reasons why we have definitely stepped away from the Uber analogy, because I think people have always quality concerns in any kind of online model like this or something new. I think in the legal industry, quality is one of the #1 things that people think about. They want to make sure the legal work is done correctly, and certainly something that we stress. Thankfully, something like your analogy or your example hasn't happened, but at least with UpCounsel, we guarantee all of the work on the system. So if something's done incorrectly, you don't pay for it, and that can be in the thousands of dollars that it's not paid for. We also have malpractice insurance with all the attorneys, and then we also carry a very large E&O insurance policy, which can cover instances where something goes awry, for example. But the pursuit of trying to create a high-quality experience is something that's very core to who we are. It's very difficult to become an UpCounsel attorney. The application process is relatively long, and you have to go through a number of hoops in order just to be on the platform. And then we're constantly reviewing the quality of work over time and constantly using data points as far as reviews from our customers in order to make sure the attorneys are performing to the highest standards that our customers are really expecting. And it can be something as critical as the actual content of the work, but it could also be something like responsiveness. I'd probably say 50% of our customers complain to us that their current counsel isn't responsive. And that's something that our model has really helped to fix, because you always have a community of attorneys who sort of on demand to your needs to be responsive to what you're looking for. And
you guys just did another raise. How much was it and why?
Yep. So I think the last time you and I talked, we had just launched New York.
About a year ago.
About a year ago. And that went extremely well. And we started to see greater than anticipated growth, not only in New York, but just as word started to spread about UpCounsel. We started to see increased demand and also increased lawyers signing up. That 10,000 lawyers that I just told you about, it's really been in the past year that we've seen that inflection of lawyers signing up for UpCounsel. And so given that, people got very excited about what we were doing, and there was already excitement after our seed round. And so what we decided to do was open up the round again and just allow people that didn't get an opportunity to participate in the past round, let them participate. So we were able to bring in a little bit more money for our seed. The point of that was just to continue launching states. So we've now launched Massachusetts. We've just recently launched Texas, which was a big undertaking because of the size of Texas. And we're going to be launching Illinois in March. And everything is going according to plan. We raised that money for the purpose of expanding nationwide, and that's really where we're on a march right now to do.
Yeah, I'm fascinated about what the process must be like breaking into a new jurisdiction. On the surface, I would imagine that every state is different and has its own regulatory authorities and people that need to be dealt with. Or is it something that after you've done one or two, it's just a matter of having the bandwidth to expand? Is it a cookie-cutter process?
So you definitely develop a playbook. There's no question about that. But that playbook evolves every time you launch a new state. You learn new things. You learn how you could do things more efficiently. You learn how you could make the impact of that particular launch better. It's going to reach more people. As far as the regulatory aspects, we've definitely picked states that are very friendly or very open to legal innovation. The bars have spoken openly about wanting legal innovation to actually happen for their lawyers and are praising the independent lawyer and what's going on as far as we like to call the entrepreneurial lawyer, which is, I think, a huge trend right now. So many people going solo, and the bar is recognizing that. There will be a time where we're going to launch in a state that is perhaps a bit more contentious, and there's a history of that with other legal companies that are out there. In which case, I think we'll probably have to take a page out of the playbook of companies like Uber and like Lyft, who have started to learn, or they've been forced to learn, that as they expand in new areas where there's perhaps less than friendly governing bodies, they need to engage with them early and often in order to establish that relationship. Because I think that those governing bodies want to at least be informed that something is going to go on. And I think that if you engage with them early, you can probably establish some sort of relationship and show the benefits of why launching in that particular state or city is going to be beneficial to them and not just you. So we'll definitely have to cross that bridge at some point, but probably not in the next 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a fascinating process to sit down and see if the regulatory authorities are more concerned about creating jobs in their state, or if they're worried about other types of things that your company might do if allowed to operate inside their boundaries.
Yeah,
these are personal conversations, I imagine, that are probably fascinating.
Yeah, and there's certainly no guidance. You can dig into court cases and opinions as much as you like, and in very rare circumstances you can find something, and it's a little bit like reading tea leaves in some sense. But there's really no guidance on this whatsoever, especially when you see some of this random litigation that pops up against some of these companies. You really don't know where it's founded or where the bar associations are really going to land on it. There definitely is a movement, though, that's going on, and we're seeing that, and we're on the front lines of it, where the whole industry is changing, and you have not only sort of lobbyists, but also bar associations who are talking about the need for change and this wave of change that's happening. The ABA, I think, is very soon going to kind of take a look at I forget the name of the conference, but essentially the laws governing legal ethics and the sort of governing law, and sort of review, hopefully, some of the new innovations that have been happening inside the legal industry, and the way that the law needs to change, at least here in the States, in order to adapt to kind of where the market is really moving.
What if any relationship does your company have with the large law firms that operate in the United States? Are you guys talking? Is it something that's seen as an adversarial relationship? Is there room for collaboration? I imagine it's an interesting dynamic when you talk to leaders of large law firms.
Yeah, it's funny when we talk to large law firms, they still look at us like a small child. But that being said, I think even they recognize that what we're doing is special, and that it's needed in the industry. And I can't name the law firms, but we have definitely engaged with companies and brought them on as customers, and they've admitted to us that the law firm they work with, because we can complement law firms, we don't have to be a complete alternative. Their law firms have told them to come to us for the day in, day out type of contract work, the sort of the blocking and tackling versus the large transactions, which big law firms, they make most of their money on that. They sometimes lose money on the smaller stuff. So I think they definitely realize that we are a much needed entity in the industry. And I don't think yet they're considering us a threat. I think that it'll be some time before that actually happens.
Matt, thank you for coming and talking to us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Lee.
That's Matt Faustman, founder and CEO of UpCounsel. If you'd like to see more of the stuff we're working on, be sure to go check us out online. You can find us at mimesiswebtv.com. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitter. I'm Lee Pacchia. Thanks for watching.